things that kind of evolve and people don't get a grasp of. Now, what people don't know is cricket has been around since the 16th century. That's kind of the beginning realms of cricket. And so it originated in southeast England. And it is huge over in countries like, India and whatnot.
So the person who created it, is he still around, or he or she? I was just curious. I'd like to meet them.
If they're a vampire, maybe. So yeah, it became England's country, the national sport. Now, here is a nice let tidbit. I love to give you guys tidbits, and I love to give you some information. Now, let me ask the Facebook watchers real quick, and what do you think the top 3, top 3 world watched sports are? Top 3.
Top 3 watched?
I
think football is definitely, as far as watch sports, football, I don't know, basketball, MMA fighting, I don't know. I mean,
do we have any Facebook answers? What do they think?
Nobody said anything yet.
Nobody said anything yet. All right. So let me put this down. Okay. So a nice little tidbit there. Now, 18th century, and it became the national sport in 18th century. So the 19th and 20th centuries, global phenomenon. Now, international matches have been played since 1844, which when people think of 1844, they think of, Wyatt Earp type people, Billy the Kid. They think of gunfighting and everything. You don't think of sports.
Right.
You don't think of cricket. Well, my people, the Native Americans. Now, when you watch a lacrosse game, we discovered that. That's our game. That is a Native American game. And so now it was recognized in 1877. So that's when they, recognized it as a pro sport. Now, the second, all these spectator sports that you said, soccer and all that kind of stuff. So, cricket is the world's second most popular spectator sport after association football. So, cricket, the obscure game that people... second most watched sport. Now,
pretty cool.
Yeah, we'll move on to another obscure sport that has kind of taken root in Sacramento. Now we will, Coach Mike Sarantakos. He is involved with the group of boys, youth rugby team, and we covered a story for the youth rugby team. And, there were a few people that promised to be there, stations that didn't show up. Well, we not only showed up, but we did a special show that day on rugby, and we had 3 professional rugby players from the Sacramento team. Now, at that time, Sacramento had a rugby team, but they didn't have a name. So, Sacramento Rugby Dudes. That was they didn't have a name. So, now they have a name. They are called the Express. Why are they called the Express? Why would you think?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
It's really weird. But they said they're having the fans pick it, right? They're having the fan. Well, then I guess, they went with the best sounding of the group.
Well, I used to cover a team outside of Austin, Texas called the Round Rock Express. Well, they're called the Express because the train went through there, literally through the town, and it was the Express. Okay?
I was saying in the USFL, they had the New Jersey Express.
Yeah.
But at least, a New Jersey Expressway.
Well, yeah, they do have expressways, yeah. So now, but they are dead last. They've played 7 games and they've only won 1. So it's an unfortunate thing.
Was that at home?
Their game that they lost?
Or the game they won?
Oh, oh yeah. For those of you, I mean, they do play at Bonnie Field, and the same place as at the Sac Republic, which is actually a cool name. Sac Republic play. The next game for the Sacramento Express, they're going to be playing Ohio, and it's going to be July 9th. So you can check out the website and buy some tickets. So, well,
if it's at 5 o'clock, no one's going to watch. Or if it's at 7 o'clock, no one's going to watch.
What? Like on TV or?
Well, no one's going to come to the game if it's at. Hopefully,
that.
It's a day game because UFC 200 is at night, and I don't think if it's an evening game that they're going to get a lot of attendance.
Well, the thing about rugby, depending on it could get turned out, it could not. But yeah, having a game on the same night as UFC 200 is kind of suicide. So
yeah, I'm like no.
Yeah. Now, all you Facebook people on there, and E. Lawrence did talk about Andrew Luck. So, how many football fans do we have? Obviously, Sean. Sean, you're a Raider fan, and you like the Whiners. So, 40 Whiners. I have a friend that is a diehard 40 Whiner fan. Then I had another one who was a diehard Raider fan. Everything Raiders. He had a Raider pool table in his house. That's kind of cool. So, but now, 70 days until kickoff.
Oh, yeah. We're dying.
What do you think? Now, let me ask you. Well, they already have, some of the odds and everything out for, Super Bowl and everything like that, which I think is a bit premature in that. So, now, E. Lawrence, we're getting into Andrew Luck, which last year he should have been Andrew Suck because that's what he did.
He stunk the place up.
He sucked. And but before I get into Andrew Suck, let's get into are you excited for NFL? That's a stupid question I'm going to ask you.
I'm very excited.
What about you, sir, over here? Are you excited about NFL? Oh, yeah. All right. So,
what is he drinking? Is he drinking a glass of red wine over there? Is that what's going on?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The kind that... No, you're the one that... No, it's Hennessy that doesn't like the wine. He likes some of the white, but yeah.
He's like the red wines.
Yeah, so, all right. So, let's talk about Andrew Suck for a second. Now, a milestone signing, I think. So he signs an extension, a 6-year, $140 million extension, $140 million, 6 years. Okay, it's over $20 million a year. Now,
125 maybe, yeah. It's like $25 million.
He gets 87 guaranteed though. Therein lies the.
Well, they structured it.
Yeah, therein lies the.
So he gets just over half.
Pretty much.
He gets like 55.
Yeah, no matter what he does.
Of contract. No matter, he could break his leg tomorrow and never be able to play football again.
He could suck like he did last year.
He could play next year, have an injury, a season, career-ending energy. Well,
they do have stipulations in that. They when the contract and everything. Now, I will say this, and I've said this 100 times. Baseball has the best contracts because it's guaranteed every daggone penny of it, So,
yeah.
So, E. Lawrence, let me ask you this, and everybody else watching. Do you, and I'll ask you, Sean, too. You're here. You're part of everybody. So, do you think Andrew Luck is worth $140 million?
At this moment, no.
Why?
Based on his last 2 seasons of performance, there's been a severe downgrade. Now, I know he was injured. Not supposedly. I know he was injured a little bit. But it's been 2 years, and last year was worse than the year before. And I'm like, okay, you're not worth 22 to 24 million a year. I'm just sorry. You're worth 8 to 10 maybe a year. I mean, at this point, maybe 8 to 12 million.
Okay.
If he got a 5-year $60 million contract, okay. I mean, maybe a little bit higher than that, but I mean, still, just not 140. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't like the 140 million.
It could be even 80. It could be like a 5 or 6 year, $80 million contract with 47 million guaranteed.
That's still
like that.
No, it's still good. It's still as good as this. Now, I don't think he's worth it, and I'll tell you why. I mean, here's certain things. If you don't make a playoff, what the heck?
How are you?
He's
the only quarterback I've seen get rewarded.
Other than
for playing sucky.
Tony Romo.
Tony Romo has a job, so that should be lucky for him.
Yeah. So here's Andrew Luck last season. Last season, he had 293 attempts. He only completed 162.
Wow, he was under 2,000 yards.
1881 in the yards, 15 TDs, almost as many interceptions. He had 12. Sacked 15 times. So, if you saw those numbers on paper, would you say, hey, that's a $140 million quarterback?
No, I'd say that's probably by those stats, I'd probably say that's a backup quarterback. He's playing like a backup quarterback that, plays for, I don't know, maybe the contract of like...
The Winers?
Contract of like 5 years, $18 million,
Okay, that might be so, and have... incentives in there that will make
5 years, $18 million. That's a little over $3 million a year.
Yeah, but have incentives in there. Say, hey, if you do this, you get this.
Right. You could say, if you get to the playoffs, you get an extra $1 million. If you get to the championship game, if you win the championship for the AFC, you get another $2 million. I mean, something like that.
There you go. And then if you win the Super Bowl, you get an extra $5 million.
Yeah, so it can end up being, an extra $8 million a year.
Yeah.
So you instead of making over three, you make almost over 11.
Yeah, I could dig that. So, all right. So, I think that, and again, it's all about, and we'll get into this when we get into NBA with LeBron's contract. But again, a lot of times these sports agents will have a huge play in that.
Right.
It could be for a more selfish reason, obviously, because they get a percentage of it. But
true. That's true too.
The NFL Players Association is trying to halt the investigation into the 6 players of the Al Jazeera American report about the performance-enhancing drugs. And Mr. Manning, who went out on top, and he is one of the guys of the 6 that people want to talk to him. They want to do an investigation, and they say Manning is more than likely to cooperate, which I hope he does. But the NFLPA, they don't want to be interviewed. They want more proof. So they don't want these players to be interviewed.
Well, in what capacity are these 6 NFL players on the report or in the report? In what capacity?
That they've received and took PEDs. So my thing is, if you've got nothing to hide, then go talk to them. It'd be like if someone said, "Hey, Sean, we're going to bring you in questioning for a stabbing that happened 2 hours ago." You would be like, "Do it." Right. You wouldn't even need a lawyer because you knew where you were 2 hours ago.
Right.
You didn't do it. So these players, if they have nothing to hide, then go talk to them.
True.
Quit hiding.
I mean, that would be the way to do it. But so, yeah, they're going to hide behind the NFLPA as long as they can. So like I said, why make it a dramatic, drag out and make it a soap opera? And we're going to hide behind the NFLPA. We don't have to release the names, or we can fight though. Keep them.
Oh, they have the names. Manning's named. I mean, there's 5 other players, but
Do you know anybody other than Manning? Does the press out there?
oh yeah, I mean, it's right there. I mean, it's right there on ESPN. I mean, everybody knows who it is. And
So what's the use of the NFL? They want to release the report.
no. They wanted to investigate.
Oh, they wanted to investigate.
Yeah. So they don't want them to be investigated, the NFLPA. But again, my thing is, if you're not guilty, why are you running? So, so I remember, and I know you remember, all the college bowl games that were going on this past year. And in San Antonio, right before the Alamo Bowl, there was a very good, high-profile quarterback, Trayvon Boykin, that played for Texas Christian, the Texas Christian University. So he now plays for the Seattle Seahawks as a undrafted player. He got a $15,000 sign-on bonus. Whip-de-freaking-do.
Wow.
And they didn't sign him because he was charged with assault, and then he's found guilty from the 2015 incident. And I mean, it's a misdemeanor. Why are they waiting till now? For the charge,
that's
for
crazy.
the actual charge. But that's why he didn't get drafted, because of the crap that he pulled.
Well, proof that you gotta watch how you act, because they could come back to get you, and that came back to get him.
Yeah. And I know it's all about, you got your publicity, you got your the limelight and everything like that, but why do they need to bring it into the limelight? I mean, this should have already been done. The charge should have been down, and it should have been just done with.
Right. Okay.
So, former Raider.
This is ridiculous. He's done.
McFadden. He was injury prone to begin with. Always hurt, always crying, and now, this happened actually last month, this news. And they're bringing it back in the limelight. It's on the front page of NFL Home page on ESPN. Last month, he fell and broke his elbow, and it was indicated that he broke it while trying to not drop his cell phone. Stupid way to hurt yourself. And he was saying, well, I slipped on my knee and I had the phone in my hand. Well, yeah, I guess you would have it if you didn't drop it. But why is this news now?
I don't know.
Why are we talking about it?
Well,
because it's news, and I like talking about obscure stories.
Right.
But also, too...
That's funny, though. He's so injury prone. I think he's done. If it had been his foot, if you told me he broke his foot again, I'd say absolutely he is done.
Yeah.
In the NFL. Because his shoulder, well, we'll see.
Elbow.
We'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, you don't need your elbow too much to run. So you got to hold the ball, But my theory is, I'm a conspiracy theorist, but my theory is, because Jerry Jones loves to be in the limelight, and he Dallas Cowboy owner, and it's the way it is, man. That's why it's in the news now. I mean, McFadden, he's kind of one of those busts that I think, he was touted real high in the draft, and
he was one of those things that you don't want to. He's even said that he's such a nice guy that you feel bad saying that he's a bust.
Yeah,
you feel bad about it.
Yeah, but oh well, but the now the last thing I want to talk about is the
oh, geez.
The LA Rams. No, the LA Ram. What did you say? Losers?
Yeah.
What? They haven't even played yet.
No, the person you're going to talk about.
Oh,
Loser.
yeah. So they're they're hiring a defensive coach. They're in talks right now with former head coach Singletary. Mike Singletary. So he now how do you go from head coach of the 40 Winers to just a little, defensive guy on the LA?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think I don't know what to think about that, but
because he sucks.
Well, I think he's too high strung to be a head coach.
Well, yeah, he is. He was 18-22 with the Winers.
Yeah, not good.
Not good at all.
No,
not good at all. I mean,
Vernon Davis didn't like him either. Vernon Davis really didn't like him.
Yeah. Well.
And look, he's in Denver now.
Yeah. So, then again, I want to take a little breather here, and I'm going to give another shout out to Madison Smoke Shop, 9372 Madison Avenue, and I want to thank the people at Bose, Lauren Ford. Now, speaking of which, I got something to I want to give another shout out. Let's see, because I wanted to get everybody's name, and I hope they texted me back. There it is. Boom. So, I have iPhones. I have a few iPhones. And I love the iPhone. Sean, you're still torn because you still need to learn a little bit. But you get.
I lay towards the Android more than I do the iPhone.
But I tell you what, I'm going to teach you, and you're going to love it. So, I want to give a shout out to we switched to Verizon last week, not only because of I talked to these people. I didn't just go in there and do it. We went in there about 3 weeks ago, and then I went on vacation. So I want to give a shout out to the Verizon store off of Sunrise Boulevard in Citrus Heights in Birdcage Walk. They sit right next to a Jamba Juice. So I want to give a shout out to Umer. He was the cat that talked to us. I kind of busted his chops a little bit.
The manager, though, too, was...
The general manager is Albert Hernandez. He did give me a call when I had a few concerns and everything. So, Albert Hernandez. Assistant manager, Danielle Broadhurst. And so we want to...
she got coffee for us.
She did.
She went and got caramel.
Well, we were there for a god-awful time.
I was there long enough to take a nap and eat lunch.
And so we want to thank those guys at the Verizon store in Citrus Heights. Again, Umer, the general manager, Albert Hernandez, and the assistant manager, Danielle Broadhurst. Now, I'll tell you what. In the studio, we had some issues, and different other places that we went, we had issues with the AT&T phone. So we were looking at hotspots, and we found... I went to Verizon, I talked to them, and then they kind of reeled me in, and they said, "Hey, who you with?" And of course, and I wasn't going to do it. I said no because you can't give me better. Long story short, we go and we are with Verizon now. We can get service in places that we couldn't with AT&T. So anybody that doesn't have Verizon that wants to get bill credits and one of those visas and whatnot. Take your phone in. They'll buy it out up to $650. Give you $150 a month per line bill credit, and go check them out and switch over to Verizon, man, because it's a wonderful thing. So that was
yep.
That was our commercial, if you will, and a freebie to Verizon. So, but now the season just got over, and let's talk a little bit about LeBron James. And but before that, we're going to talk about a gentleman that is currently in talks with the Oklahoma City Thunder because he played for them, and that's Kevin Durant. Now, he did play for the Texas Longhorns, down with the Horns. And, but, they still can't talk to the players before 12:01 a.m. July 1st. But he's still talking about other stuff. Now, do you think there's any way that the Thunder can talk him into staying in OKC?
I don't know. I think that Thunder team has gone as far as they're going to go.
Yeah.
They're not built the right way. They're built not built to last through the playoffs. So I don't see. There's no way that Kevin Durant is not coming to the West Coast. And I'm sorry, he's not going to. He's not going to the Lakers. He's not going to the Kings.
You know what?
And the LA Clippers that could be an option, but why would you not go to, a team that was in the championship series this year and was the champion the year before?
Mm-hmm.
And Durant's at the point now he wants to get that title. He wants to be in the elite. He's got all the stats, all the stuff, but he doesn't have a ring.
So you think that he's coming?
I think he's to
the West Coast.
I can't see him not coming to the Warriors.
Do you think? What do you think he's worth?
I would say he's probably worth. Well, number one, I don't think he'll sign more than a 4-year contract.
Okay,
that's number one because he's on the backside. I mean, he's getting older now, so I don't know that he would play more than 4 years. In 4 years, if he can get 2 titles, I think he'd be happy.
Yeah.
And I think maybe 4 years, 50 to 60 million probably, I would say. I would say he's worth at least that much.
Okay. I think he's going to come to the Warriors. I would love to see him come to the Warriors. I really do. I mean, he deserves to win. He's a cool guy. I've been to Kings games, and I've seen him take off his shoes and sign them and give them to a kid, even if the kid's wearing a Queens jersey. And I know Dirk loves the Queens, and so wears enough of their stuff. But I can't bust him too hard. I mean, former OU player Wayman Tisdale played for him.
Right.
I met Wayman while he was at OU and when he was with the Kings, and then after in his music career. So I actually have his album on my phone. So he's a very good jazz musician.
Yeah, I said I don't see him not. I mean, I can't see it. He wouldn't come to.
Yeah, I think I'd probably pay.
What do you think?
I think he's worth it, man. I really do. So,
4 years. 4 years. 50 million. 4 years. I think that's worth it.
Okay, so into that. I think they're getting us some water over there. They're pouring something clear. It's either that or vodka.
One or the other.
Yeah. So LeBron James opted out of $24 million player option. Now, you look at me funny. Thank you.
Well, does that imply that he's leaving?
Not necessarily. But, so, July 1st, with him, he will be becoming a free agent as of July 1st for the 3rd straight year.
Do you think he's doing it to re-sign for higher?
I know he is.
He'll get more. He'll get $30 million.
Here's this thing. When players say this, to me it's a canned statement. And most of the time it means they're leaving or they're threatening to leave in a subliminal manner. Here's what he says, and I quote, "I love it here in Cleveland. I have no intentions of leaving." Okay? And that was the end quote. So, there are some technicalities to take care of, and I'll leave it up to my agent. That's right, from the horse's mouth. Now, here's where it comes, dealing with the agents and stuff like that, to where
if he turned down $24 million, he's trying to get $30 to $35 million for 4 years.
Here's the thing. That's why they did this, because the salary cap.
Oh.
Yeah. So they don't have salary cap space, and they don't have LeBron James full rights. So that limits the size of a raise that he can get. So what he's looking is, if he does a 1-year contract, he could make 27.5. So 24 million to 27.
So
0.5.
Is he making going for a 2-year, like a 2-year?
No,
55 million.
1 year.
Oh, so he's just gonna take it 1 year at a time.
Yeah,
Like you're gonna pay me like you're renting me.
pretty much. So I think that his agent's doing it for the money, because they make money. And I don't know. What do you think?
Man, that's
He's for the money.
yeah. I mean, I understand LeBron that $3.5 million is $3.5 million, but $24 million a year is a lot of money. I mean, I don't know if it's a raise from the year before, but that's crazy.
Yeah. So I don't know, if it was me, I would sign the 1 year, because what happens if he could pull off something, maybe do something, and then maybe he would come to someone had enough money, they can get him, a couple other guys, to Sacramento, and the Queens could win a title in the next 4 years. What do you think?
I don't know.
Or bring him back to Oakland for the Warriors.
Yeah, Curry and
Yeah, why not?
that's the whole look. Curry's money and LeBron's money. That's like three quarters of their budget.
Yeah, but they say, if you guys want this and that, you have to give up this and that. But
Right.
they could also get paid under the table.
So would it be Steph Curry and LeBron James and Klay Thompson, and that's all they'd have money for?
No. Again, they could pay something outside of the salary of the contract. There's all kinds of shenanigans that can go on, man. All kinds. My conspiracy theories.
Yes.
So, let's move on to MLB. Out of all the sports, well, other than, the first, but, basketball's over, football's over, hockey's over.
It's baseball, baby.
Baseball.
That's
Have
all.
you yet? I know you've been to an A's game. No, you have, because you went with me. Yeah, I was going to say the River Cats. So the Cubs, we were at the Cali Boys show last night, and so again, shout out to
Mr.
Dirk Dig and Hennessy. So here's the deal. I showed you. I don't remember what time it was. I showed you. Hey, they're in 14 innings right now.
Yes.
So they went 15 innings yesterday. They beat the Cubs 7-2. So what they did is RBI single by Chris Bryant, and then a grand slam by Javier Baez. So that put them up 7-2. They're now back best record in the league. Hey, you know what? Speaking of Texas, Texas is doing really well. But the most
How about the A's? They beat the Giants twice.
well, here's the deal. A lot of times, really good teams lose against really sucky teams. Look at the Warriors. Undefeated, they get beat by the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah.
I mean, what the heck is that? I mean, that would be like the A's going and playing American River and losing. You know?
People were like, we bet on that game. That was a sure win.
Yeah.
And you lost.
But, all right. Right down the street here, we have San Diego. I was just there a couple weeks ago. All-Star game. July 12th. And San Diego Petco Park, right on the ocean there. Beautiful day. So, Big Papi said that he's not doing the home run derby.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, here's the thing. Boston, they're not going to stand in his way, but they really don't want him to be in the
Why?
home run derby. Well, you know, because a lot of times home run derby, you know, something can happen. Some weird thing can happen. But when you're throwing a pitch at that speed, it kind of breaks your rhythm, you know. So a lot of guys kind of get off rhythm a little bit in the home run derby. Plus, he just kind of wants to relax. It's his last year, and he just wants to chill. So he's not going to be in there. So the last one he did was 2010. So 6 years ago, and he won. I remember that. It was in Anaheim. So it was cool. So now
I understand now. He won and he said, "That's it, I'm done."
yeah.
Why wouldn't you be?
Yeah, because you can go out on a winner, you know, on many aspects. So, the other West Coast team, the one that's just behind the Giants, you know, I believe 7 games now. I think that the Dodgers are having a little bit of pitching issues.
Oh yeah, badly.
It's Clayton Kershaw is just terrible.
What happened?
I mean, he used to be an ace, man. He's just having a bad. I mean, he's back in L.A. now. He's going to be having the doctors look at his back, you know, with stiffness and everything. So, but here it is in the last 6 days. Wow. Last 6 days he's pitched. Now, this is kind of the devil's number. Last 6 days, he's pitched 6 innings and has a 6.00 ERA.
Wow. What the hell is he doing?
Exactly. So they're sending, and I think that's kind of a kind of a decoy. Excuse me. Kind of a decoy. I mean, to kind of take the pressure off of him a little bit. Hey, go back home. Have the doctors look at you. Yada yada yada. And it's kind of a ploy, if you will. But if he goes on the DL, what do you think's going to happen with the Dodgers?
Sign somebody else.
Sign somebody else. So, I think they're going to go into like 3rd place, maybe even 4th. I mean, Kershaw, I mean, because that's what happens. You get these guys, and one guy goes, and a lot. If you just score runs, that'll help your pitchers out quite a bit. So do that, and so I mean, he's been a Cy Young winner for 3 different times. So I mean, you know, he's doing what he can for the Dodgers, but I hope that it's just a stiff back. I hope it kind of calms his brain down a little bit and gets back out there and starts winning some games. But another Cleveland team, Cleveland Indians, are on a tear.
I saw that.
11-game win streak. And that is phenomenal for one. And they haven't done that in 34 years.
Wow.
34 years. So that's an amazing thing for the Cleveland Indians. Congratulations to them. You know what that makes me want to do? When you think of the Cleveland Indians and you think of a sports movie, what movie comes to mind? Charlie Sheen was in it.
Got the name. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Spike Lee, not Spike Lee. What's that? Vampire dude. Slayer. Crap. He played with Sylvester Stallone in Demolition Man. Wesley Snipes starred him. Had Tom Berenger's in it, so it's pretty good. So now talking about the A's, they are 16.5 games out of first. They're 34 wins and 43 losses. Now you went to an A's game this year. Did they win?
The A's lost 3-1.
Right. So when you went, they lost.
That was the last.
That's one of the losses that you saw. Out of their 43 of them. Now you think of the Cubs on the flip side, they're like 42 and 26 or 47 and 26. So the A's, now do you think their season's a wash? Do you think they're done?
Well, I don't know. They always have if they're going to do it, it'd be in the second half.
They're 16.5 games back. How do you make up 16.5 games?
I didn't say that. I just said if they get real hot and they go on a run, they can maybe cut it down to 6 or 7 games and see if they can get lucky.
That's possible. But we mentioned the All-Star game earlier. So what do you think that the All-Star game has lost its nostalgia?
I don't know. I know that the Pro Bowl in the NFL has, but I mean, I don't know. I think the All-Star game's still there. I mean, it's lost some. I think it's lost some of its luster, but
I don't care about it. I mean, I haven't watched an All-Star game in I don't know how many years because it just doesn't mean anything. I mean, when Bud Selig stopped the game because it was a tie a few years back, I lost all respect for it, man. I cannot respect that. Now, next baseball season, last question on baseball. Who do you think are the top 3 people that you think have a chance to scratch that. Well, no, top 3. Yeah, top 3. Who do you think is going to win the World Series next year, in your mind? As in, I say next year, which is this year, which is I always put it a year ahead. But yeah, October winter. Who do you think?
Well, I mean, the Giants. They lost a couple of games, but they've been on a tear. They've been extending their lead over LA. I mean, they've been winning. There's a possibility it is the even year. So
yeah,
every even year for the last 3 even years, they've won titles.
Yep.
So, I mean, them, the Cubs keep it up. I don't know. I know it's been like 100 and something years, but you never know. I mean, they're looking pretty good. If they stay like they are right now, winning like they are, yes. If they slide, they always do, it'll be like normal. And then, I don't know. I know Boston's up there, but I mean.
All right, I have some stats for you. I'm a betting man, and I love to talk about betting, especially during football season. And I'm going to give you the top pick. You have the Cubs at plus 325. Both Washington and San Francisco are plus 800. The odds. Now, when you get down, heck, even like with the Yankees are plus 4,000. But you got teams like Cincinnati Reds, Atlanta Braves, and all that. They're 200,000.
No, man. So I didn't do too bad there.
What, with the A's?
Yeah, but no, I'm talking about with the top 3 teams.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, there was only one other one that was in there, and that's the Nationals.
Yeah. Washington, I don't think they're going to do anything. So here you have it. So now let's get into our MMA action, and I'm going to give you some tidbits here. Let's see if anybody is tweeting right now, and I don't see anybody. No one else is even talking on Facebook. You weren't frozen, were you? Oh, because you're still up over here. All right, so I'm going to give some little tidbits, MMA stuff. So now in the UFC, there have been 3,728 fights in the UFC over the years. A lot of fights, a lot of matches, a lot of fighters. Now, the fighters are 1,500 fighters have fought in the UFC since UFC 1. Now, only twice has the UFC been canceled, an event. It was like done, canceled, over with. So, UFC 151, after Dan Henderson pulled out, Dana White, say, you know what? That's it. Done. So, and also UFC 17 was canceled after Jose Aldo was injured a month before the fight. So now you have another nice little tidbit. Wins. How many wins? So you have two fighters in that aspect. Now, a gentleman that we talked about last year that might be coming back is George St. Pierre. And you also have Michael Bisping, which have 19 wins. It's a lot of wins. And so then you have Frankie Edgar has spent the most time fighting in the octagon. So total, 5 hours, 37 minutes, 49 seconds. That's how long he's fought in the octagon, how many times that he's fought in the octagon. There's been a lot of knockouts in UFC history. Some of them quick, some of them real quick. Rousey had one. It was just, it was right around 14 seconds, depending on who you talk to and the timing and all that. So there's been a lot of quick knockouts, but the fastest knockout in UFC history was in UFC 102, where Todd Duffy KO'd Tim Hagee. 7 seconds.
Done.
Yeah, we did. Now, when we talk MMA, it's not always about the UFC at all. There's a lot of local guys that we cover. Give a shout out to MMA Gold up in El Dorado Hills. We're going to be up there tomorrow night talking to a few of those guys and watching some sparring. And also Phil Flethers with NorCal Fight Series, Brandon Ware with West Coast Fighting Championship, Jose Cortez. So we follow all those guys. Ted Williams with Gladiator Challenge. So, but tonight it's a few tidbits about the UFC. But the fastest fight that we've seen was Michael Hart. He knocked he fought that was the best knockout on the night. The fastest one, those two big guys, and 5 seconds.
Yeah.
5
out.
5 seconds, and it was absolutely crazy. But 7 seconds is pretty freaking quick, and a lot of other interesting things. Now, the guy that we talked about last week that brought the championship back to Cleveland before the Cavaliers did, that the Stipe Miocic, I can't say his last name. Anyway, so he has the most strikes in a fight.
Damn.
Punched the dude 361 times. 361 times. So, and that is absolutely crazy. He fought against Mark Hunt, UFC Fight Night 65. in that action. Also, there have been 62 fighters won the belt. So all the belts that they have, different weight classes and all that, 62 fighters. So, UFC 100 is going to be a big, big, big deal. And some people are upset with the fight card. Some are just fine with it. I think they got a good fight card.
What's up, Dirk Dig?
Dirk Dig, we were talking about you earlier, brother. And now that you're on air, I'm going to give you a shout out, Dirk Dig, part of the Cali Boys. We were at their show last night. And Dirk, when you get on the Epic News section, and we're going to talk about a few things, and I think it's going to be quite interesting, some of the questions that I ask you. So Randy Couture, I mean, he fought up into his 40s, man. And he's the first fighter to win the belt in 2 weight classes. So you have light heavyweight and heavyweight. And I really liked Randy Couture, man. I'm kind of a purist on that thing. I mean, that guy was a cool dude. So Anderson Silva, most title defenses, 10 title defenses, but there's a couple losses there, man. One he got knocked out, and the other one,
that was bad.
Yeah,
that was real bad.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Showboated a little bit, and then bam.
Yeah, bam. So Brock Lesnar, NCAA guy. So he was the fastest fighter in UFC history to obtain a belt, and he won the heavyweight in his only 4th professional fight. So that's pretty quick and pretty awesome. I mean, he's going to be fighting at UFC 200. That's going to be that's the fight I want to see. And we'll let you guys know. Well, we got to let them know pretty dadgum quick. Definitely by next Wednesday of where we're going to be covering the fight at. We had this venue, and we don't know what happened. We might have thought that it might have had something to do with a fire code or something like that. That we couldn't get into this place for it. So. We won't be there. So anyway, UFC 200. There's going to be 3 title belts up for grabs. So that's going to be interesting. John Jones, the headliner, one of the headliners, is going to be fighting Cormier, and he's quoted as saying, "I would prefer any other referee but him," he said yesterday. And he's referring to Big John McCarthy. Now, here's the thing. If you have a problem with somebody, say it to him. It's like, there's people that do things, and if you want to say something about them, say it to their face or give us a reason why. He will not say why he doesn't want McCarthy. So, I don't know if he thinks that you know what? It doesn't matter what referee is who, where, what, why. And if you're going to fight. Fight to win, man. Don't be a little cry hole and say, I don't want John McCarthy. Now, Jones, on the odds thing, Jones is minus 290. So, meaning that you have to spend $290 to win $100. It's kind of backwards, but he is the overall favorite. That's why when Ronda Rousey fought last, if you would have, put your bet on Holly Holm, you would have won a good chunk of change. Now, Daniel is at plus 245, meaning you bet 100, he wins, you win $245. So you get your 100 back plus $245. So, yeah, I'm gonna go talk to our buddy over at Citrus Heights. Has a place there that I'm gonna talk to, and there's a couple places in Orangeville. You have the Blarney Stone. Rocky owns that one. Same guy owns a 7440 Club. There's a few places. Cats. Gonna be doing it, but we'll figure that out. See where we're going to. See where we're going to cover it at. But we're going to be doing a few things this week. Actually, Sunday I covered a play It's called Little Me. It was here in Fair Oaks, and it was actually a really good play. And then Saturday I had that rally I went to. Then there's roller derby, and then there's one other thing I covered. I covered so many things that day. But that'll be fun. I mean, we got the Sacramento, the fair's coming up.
Yeah.
You got the Folsom Rodeo coming up. We're probably going to be covering that as well. Of course, we cover every River Cats game. So it's going to be awesome with all that kind of stuff. So any last words that you want to say?
No, not really. I mean, we think we pretty good covered everything pretty good. I mean, that's all I got.
Yep. So I will see if we can get this interview going with Dirk Dig. We'll talk to him about coming on our next music segment. So yeah, we and again, hey, with the fireworks out there, be careful. I mean, I know that they're still selling the explosive fireworks. They're illegal, but they have them. They're out there selling them. But they're just be safe out there. Have fun with your family, and don't drink too much beer. Don't eat too many hot dogs. But what I'm looking forward to is watching the hot dog eating contest in New York. I mean, that's always. I have a couple of hot dogs and I'm full, and these guys eat like 60 of them. How many hot dogs could you eat? If we had a hot dog eating, not me and you, but if you can go to Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
No, I mean, if I was in the contest mode and I wasn't having any bread, just eat hot dogs. I mean, if I was real hungry, I mean, I could have like 10 to 12 probably.
I'd like to see that. So anyhow, we are going to break off here, and we thank everybody for watching. Everybody, Facebook, YouTube, everybody around. So we are going to take off here, and next Wednesday it's going to be what are you doing for the 4th, man?
I don't know yet. I really don't know. I know I'm probably going to hang with the family and do something, but I don't know. It came up so fast this year. I just,
Yeah, you know what? What day is it anyway? So you got
it's Monday.
Monday. I don't know what I'm going to do, man. I mean, I know they've got fireworks and everything, and they got the Rayleigh Field and the Folsom Rodeo, and I don't know. I definitely don't want to be around a ton of people, but
right.
But anyway, we want to thank you guys for watching, and peace out. We are done, and we've got a crowd over here. Our audio person can't get through them, so I'm gonna shut this off. And thanks everybody for watching. We'll catch you next week.
Alrighty.